What if I told you that something smaller than your thumbnail sitting right there in your spice cabinet could help restore the strength and vitality you thought was gone forever? And what if you could start feeling the difference in just 60 seconds? I know that might sound too good to be true, but I'm about to show you exactly how this works and why thousands of men over 60 are quietly using this ancient method to reclaim what the years have slowly taken away. Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Martinez, and I've spent the last 25 years helping men navigate the challenges that come after 60. Not just the obvious ones that everyone talks about, but the quiet, gradual changes that happen so slowly you almost don't notice them at first. Maybe you've experienced some of these yourself. That morning fatigue that seems to linger no matter how much coffee you drink, the way your energy dips in the afternoon and never quite recovers. Perhaps you've noticed that stairs seem a little steeper than they used to be, or that the drive and confidence you once took for granted has become, well, harder to find. If any of this sounds familiar, I want you to know that you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not powerless. What I'm about to share with you today has been used for centuries, but modern science is finally catching up to explain exactly why it works so well. The solution I'm talking about isn't some expensive treatment or complicated protocol. It's not a prescription with a list of side effects longer than your grocery list. It's something that's probably been sitting in your kitchen this whole time, something your great-grandfather might have known about, but that somehow got lost in our modern rush toward pharmaceutical solutions. I'm talking about the humble clove. Yes, that little brown spice that most people only think about during the holidays. But what if I told you that this tiny powerhouse contains compounds that can help open your blood vessels, calm your nervous system, support natural hormone production, and even improve the quality of your sleep? In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to use this ancient remedy in a very specific way that maximizes its benefits. I'll explain the science behind why it works, share some real stories from men who've tried it, and give you a clear timeline of what you can expect as you make this simple practice part of your daily routine. But first, let me share something with you that most doctors won't tell you about what's really happening to your body after 60, because understanding this changes everything about how you approach your health and vitality. Here's something that might surprise you: the fatigue, the decreased motivation, the sense that you're just not firing on all cylinders anymore. These aren't just inevitable parts of getting older, they're signs that your body is fighting a quiet battle, and right now, it's losing. Let me explain what I mean. After age 60, several things start happening in your body simultaneously, and they all work together to slowly drain your vitality. Your blood vessels, which have been faithfully carrying oxygen and nutrients to every cell in your body for decades, start to stiffen. Think of them like garden hoses that have been left out in the sun too long. They lose their flexibility. They don't expand and contract the way they should, and the flow through them becomes restricted. At the same time, your testosterone production begins declining at a rate of about 1 to 2% every year. Now, I know testosterone has become something of a buzzword lately, but it's not just about what happens in the bedroom. Testosterone affects your energy levels, your mood, your ability to build and maintain muscle, your motivation, and even your mental clarity. There's also something happening that most men never consider: chronic low-grade inflammation throughout your body. This isn't the kind of inflammation you can see or feel like when you sprain your ankle. This is silent inflammation that damages your blood vessels, interferes with hormone production, and makes it harder for your body to repair and regenerate itself. And here's where it gets particularly frustrating: stress. The daily worries about health, finances, family, the future, all of these flood your system with cortisol, a stress hormone that's supposed to help you handle emergencies. But when cortisol stays elevated day after day, month after month, it becomes toxic to your vitality. Here's the cruel irony: cortisol and testosterone can't coexist at high levels. When one goes up, the other crashes down. I remember a patient of mine, Robert, who came to see me about 3 years ago. He was 67, recently retired, and he should have been enjoying the best years of his life. Instead, he told me he felt like he was running on empty. He'd wake up tired, struggle through the day, and by evening he was so drained that all he wanted to do was sit in his chair and watch TV. "Doc," he said to me during our first appointment, "I don't want to run marathons or lift heavy weights. I just want to feel like myself again. I want to wake up with energy. I want to feel present when I'm with my wife. I want to have the motivation to work in my garden or take a walk around the neighborhood." That conversation stayed with me because Robert wasn't asking for the impossible. He wasn't asking to turn back the clock 30 years. He just wanted to feel alive in his own body again. And that's when I realized that everything we'd been taught about aging, that decline is inevitable, that you just have to accept feeling less vibrant, was fundamentally wrong. The truth is, your body still remembers how to be vital, how to be strong, how to feel fully alive. It just needs the right signals, the right support to remember what it's capable of. That's what led me to discover the remarkable power of something that's been hiding in plain sight. Eugenol, a natural compound found in cloves that's about to become your secret weapon for reclaiming your vitality. Now, I have to admit, when I first came across the research on eugenol, I was skeptical. How could something so simple, so readily available, have such profound effects on circulation, stress, and overall vitality? But the more I dug into the science, the more amazed I became. Eugenol is what scientists call a natural vasodilator. In simple terms, that means it helps your blood vessels relax and open up, particularly those small, narrow vessels that feed your most vital organs. After 60, these vessels tend to become stiff and lose their flexibility, which is why blood doesn't flow the way it used to. Eugenol works like a gentle massage for your arteries, coaxing them to relax and allowing blood to move freely again. But here's where it gets really interesting. Eugenol also stimulates the production of nitric oxide in your body. Now, if you've ever heard of those little blue pills, you know that they work by affecting nitric oxide pathways. But here's the difference. Those medications force a reaction in your body, often with uncomfortable side effects like headaches, flushing, or dangerous interactions with other medications. Eugenol works with your body's natural processes. It gently encourages your own nitric oxide production, which means better blood flow, without the artificial highs and lows, without the side effects, and without the worry about drug interactions. When I first started recommending this to patients like Robert, I was careful to set realistic expectations. I told them they might notice some subtle improvements over time, maybe better sleep, or slightly more energy. What I didn't expect was how quickly and dramatically some men responded. Robert called me after just 5 days. "Doc," he said, "I don't know what's in those cloves, but I woke up this morning feeling more alert than I have in months. And yesterday, I had the energy to work in my garden for 2 hours straight." That was 3 years ago. Robert still chews cloves every evening, and he's become one of my advocates for this simple practice. But Robert's story isn't unique. I've seen this same pattern play out with dozens of men over the years. The beautiful thing about cloves is that they work on multiple levels simultaneously. While the eugenol is improving your circulation, another compound called beta-caryophyllin is working on your nervous system. This compound actually binds to specific receptors in your brain that help regulate stress and promote calm. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time you felt truly relaxed, not just physically tired, but that deep, peaceful relaxation where your mind is quiet and your body feels at ease? For many men over 60, that feeling has become increasingly rare. We're constantly on, worried about something, thinking about the next thing we need to do, carrying tension in our shoulders and jaw without even realizing it. Beta-caryophyllin helps interrupt that cycle. Within minutes of chewing cloves, many men report feeling a release in their chest, a clarity in their mind, a letting go of pressure that's been building for years. It's not sedating. You don't feel drowsy or foggy. Instead, you feel present, grounded, more like yourself. Now let me walk you through exactly how to harness this power, because the method matters. This isn't just about eating cloves or taking clove oil capsules. There's a specific technique that maximizes the absorption and effectiveness of these compounds. First, you'll need whole cloves, not the powdered kind you might have in your spice rack. Whole cloves retain all their natural oils, and these oils are what contain the therapeutic compounds we're after. Ideally, you want organic cloves, but any good quality whole clove will work. You can find these at any grocery store, usually in the spice aisle, and they're incredibly inexpensive. Here's the technique. Take 2 or 3 whole cloves and place them between your back molars, where your chewing power is strongest. This placement is important because you need enough pressure to crack open the clove and release those precious oils. Now, here's the critical part. Don't rush this process. Slowly bite down until you feel the cloves crack open. You'll know it's working when you feel that intense, warm sensation spreading through your mouth. Some people describe it as a tingling, others as a gentle heat. That intensity is exactly what you want. It means the eugenol is being absorbed through the sensitive membranes in your mouth and heading straight into your bloodstream. For the first 30 seconds, just hold those broken pieces in your mouth. Let your saliva mix with the oils. You might feel the to swallow immediately because the taste is quite strong, but try to resist. Breathe through your nose and stay relaxed. This is when the absorption is happening most rapidly. After 30 seconds, begin chewing slowly and deliberately. You're not trying to pulverize the cloves, just breaking them down enough to release all the oils. Keep working them in your mouth for another 30 seconds, moving them around with your tongue, letting those oils coat every surface. After a full minute, you can either swallow the remnants or spit them out. Both are perfectly fine. Some men prefer to swallow because they feel it provides additional digestive benefits. Others find the taste too intense and prefer to spit. There's no right or wrong way. Just do what feels comfortable for you. The first time you try this, you might be surprised by the intensity. Cloves have a very distinctive taste. Warm, slightly sweet, but also quite strong and numbing. If you've ever been to a dentist and had clove oil applied to a sore tooth, you'll recognize the sensation. Don't worry if it feels overwhelming at first. Most men adjust to it quickly, and many actually come to enjoy the ritual. One thing I always tell my patients is to start slowly. If 3 cloves feel like too much, start with 1 or 2. You can always work your way up as you become more comfortable with the technique. The goal is consistency, not intensity. Let me share a few more stories from men who've made this simple practice part of their daily routine, because I think their experiences will help you understand what's truly possible. There's James, a 64-year-old retired mechanic who came to see me because he was frustrated with his energy levels. He'd always been an active guy, worked with his hands his whole life, prided himself on being strong and capable. But over the past couple of years, he'd found himself needing naps in the afternoon, struggling to complete projects that used to be easy for him. James was skeptical when I first told him about cloves. "Doc," he said, "I've tried everything. Vitamins, exercise programs, special diets. Nothing seems to make a lasting difference." But he agreed to give it a try for a month. The first week, James reported subtle changes. He felt a little more alert in the mornings, and his afternoon energy crashes weren't quite as severe. By the second week, he was sleeping more soundly and waking up more refreshed. But it was around the 3-week mark that things really shifted. "I was working on rebuilding an engine in my garage," James told me during his follow-up appointment, "and I realized I'd been at it for 4 hours straight without getting tired." 4 hours! A few months ago, I would have needed 2 breaks and a nap. But what impressed me most about James's story wasn't just the physical improvements. My wife noticed the difference before I did, he said. She told me I seemed more present, more engaged. We've been talking more, laughing more. I feel like myself again. Then there's Michael, a 71-year-old retired teacher who'd been dealing with what he called brain fog for several years. He'd go to the grocery store and forget what he came for. He'd start a sentence and lose his train of thought halfway through. His doctor had told him it was just normal aging, but Michael refused to accept that. Michael started chewing cloves every morning with his coffee and every evening before bed. Within 2 weeks, he noticed his thinking was clearer, sharper. He could focus on reading for longer periods without his mind wandering. He started doing crossword puzzles again, something he'd given up because it had become frustrating. The fog just lifted, Michael explained to me. It's like someone cleaned the windows in my brain. I can think clearly again. I can concentrate. I can remember things. It's given me my confidence back. What's remarkable about these stories is that they're not isolated incidents. I've seen this pattern repeat itself dozens of times over the years. Men start with modest expectations. Maybe they'll sleep a little better or have slightly more energy. But what they often discover is that improving circulation and reducing stress has far-reaching effects they never anticipated. Better circulation doesn't just mean better physical performance. It means better brain function, clearer thinking, improved mood, and yes, often renewed interest in intimacy. When blood flows freely to all areas of your body, including your brain and sexual organs, everything starts working better. Now, let me address the question I get most often. When is the best time to use this technique for maximum results? The beauty of this practice is its flexibility. You can adapt it to your schedule and your specific goals. But based on my experience working with hundreds of men, there are certain times that tend to be more effective than others. For most men, I recommend starting with evening use about an hour before your intended bedtime. This timing serves multiple purposes. First, it helps you wind down from the day and transition into a more relaxed state. The stress-reducing compounds and cloves help quiet your mind and prepare your body for restorative sleep. Second, evening use allows the circulation-boosting effects to work throughout the night, supporting natural hormone production and cellular repair processes. Many men report waking up feeling more refreshed and alert when they use cloves in the evening. Third, if you're hoping to rekindle intimacy with your partner, evening use provides the optimal timing for those benefits to manifest. The circulation improvements typically peak about 30 to 60 minutes after chewing cloves, making evening use ideal for couples who want to reconnect physically. However, don't overlook the benefits of morning use. Some men prefer to start their day with this practice, especially if they drink coffee or tea in the morning. The combination of caffeine and the alertness-promoting effects of improved circulation can provide a natural sustained energy boost without the jitters or crash that sometimes comes with caffeine alone. Morning use is particularly beneficial if you exercise in the morning or have physically demanding work. The improved blood flow can enhance your performance and endurance, while the stress-reducing effects help you stay calm and focused throughout the day. For men dealing with significant stress or anxiety, I sometimes recommend using this technique twice daily. Once in the morning to set a calm, focused tone for the day, and once in the evening to promote relaxation and better sleep. The key is consistency rather than intensity. It's better to use this technique once daily for a month than to use it sporadically or only when you remember. Your body responds to consistent signals and the benefits tend to build and compound over time. One important note about timing. If you're taking any medications, especially blood pressure medications or blood thinners, it's wise to space your clove use at least 2 hours away from your medications. While cloves are generally very safe, they do have mild blood-thinning properties, and it's always better to be cautious when combining natural remedies with prescription drugs. Let me walk you through what you can realistically expect as you make this simple practice part of your daily routine. Understanding this timeline helps set appropriate expectations and keeps you motivated during the early stages when changes might be subtle. During your first week, most men notice what I call whispers of change. These are subtle but unmistakable shifts that signal your body is beginning to respond. You might feel a gentle warmth spreading through your body after chewing cloves, a clearer head, or a sense of calm that lasts for an hour or two afterward. Sleep often improves first. Men frequently report falling asleep more easily and experiencing fewer middle-of-the-night awakenings. You might not wake up feeling dramatically different yet, but you may notice you're not as groggy in the morning or that you don't need quite as much coffee to feel alert. Some men also report subtle improvements in mood and stress levels. Daily irritations that used to trigger strong reactions might not bother you as much. You may find yourself feeling more patient, more present in conversations, more emotionally stable throughout the day. By the end of the second week, these subtle changes often begin to amplify. Energy levels typically improve noticeably. Men report having more sustained energy throughout the day, fewer afternoon crashes, and more motivation to engage in activities they enjoy. This is also when many men start experiencing what I call morning victories. You might wake up with stronger morning erections, clearer thinking, or simply a sense of vitality that's been missing for months or years. These aren't necessarily dramatic changes yet, but they're unmistakable signs that your body is remembering how to function optimally. Physical performance often improves during the second week as well. Men report being able to walk longer distances without getting winded, climb stairs without feeling fatigued, or work on projects for extended periods without needing breaks. The third and fourth weeks are typically when the more significant transformations become apparent. By this point, the circulation improvements, stress reduction, and sleep quality enhancements have had time to create meaningful changes in hormone levels and overall vitality. Many men report that their confidence returns during this period, not just physical confidence, but emotional and mental confidence as well. They feel more like themselves, more capable, more optimistic about their health and future. Relationships often improve during this time too. Partners frequently notice changes before the men themselves do. You seem more present, you have more energy, you're more affectionate. These are common observations from spouses and partners. By the end of the first month, most men who stick with this practice consistently report feeling significantly different than when they started. Energy levels are more stable and higher overall. Sleep quality is markedly improved, stress feels more manageable. Physical vitality is noticeably enhanced. But here's what I find most meaningful. Men report feeling hopeful again. After years of gradual decline, of accepting that their best days were behind them, they start to believe that improvement is possible, that they have some control over how they age. It's important to note that not every man experiences every benefit, and the timeline can vary significantly from person to person. Some men notice dramatic improvements within days, while others require several weeks to see meaningful changes. Factors like overall health, stress levels, sleep quality, diet, and exercise habits all influence how quickly and dramatically someone responds. Once you've established a consistent clove-chewing practice and experienced the initial benefits, there are several ways to enhance and expand upon what you're doing. One of the most powerful combinations I've discovered is pairing clove use with specific breathing techniques. After chewing cloves and while the eugenol is being absorbed, spend a few minutes practicing slow, deep breathing. This enhances the stress reduction benefits and helps distribute the improved circulation throughout your body more effectively. Here's a simple technique you can try. After chewing cloves, sit comfortably and breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4, then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat this cycle for 5 to 10 minutes. The combination of clove compounds and controlled breathing creates a profound state of relaxation and circulation enhancement. Diet also plays a crucial role in maximizing the benefits of this practice. Foods that support nitric oxide production work synergistically with the eugenol in cloves. Dark leafy greens, beets, pomegranates, and watermelon in moderation all contain compounds that enhance your body's ability to produce nitric oxide naturally. On the other hand, foods that promote inflammation or stress the cardiovascular system can counteract some of the benefits. Processed foods, excessive sugar, and trans fats all create inflammation that works against the healing effects of cloves. Hydration is another often overlooked factor. Proper hydration is essential for optimal circulation and helps your body process and utilize the beneficial compounds in cloves more effectively. Aim for clear pale yellow urine as a simple indicator of adequate hydration. Physical activity, even gentle movement, amplifies the circulation benefits of cloves dramatically. A 10 to 15 minute walk after using cloves helps distribute the improved blood flow throughout your body and can enhance the energy and vitality benefits significantly. For men dealing with more significant circulation challenges, I sometimes recommend combining clove use with other natural vasodilators like dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, or pomegranate juice. These combinations should be approached gradually and ideally under professional guidance, especially if you're taking medications. The strength, vitality, and confidence you've been waiting to feel again aren't gone forever. They've been waiting patiently for you to give your body the right tools to remember what it's capable of. This one simple practice, chewing a few cloves for 60 seconds, can be the key that unlocks circulation, vitality, and confidence you thought were lost to time. You don't need expensive prescriptions with concerning side effects. You don't need to accept that your best days are behind you. You just need to begin. I encourage you to start tonight. Find some whole cloves, take 2 or 3, and experience this ancient remedy for yourself. Pay attention to how you feel in the minutes and hours afterward. Notice any changes in your sleep, your energy, your mood, your sense of vitality. Remember, this isn't about turning back the clock or trying to be 30 again. It's about being the best, most vital version of your current self. It's about waking up with energy, feeling present with your loved ones, having the confidence to pursue the activities and experiences that bring you joy. Your body is still capable of remarkable vitality and strength. Sometimes it just needs a gentle reminder of what's possible. This simple practice with cloves could be that reminder. If this information has opened your eyes to what's possible, I'd be grateful if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm constantly researching and sharing natural approaches to healthy aging, specifically designed for men over 60. In the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest challenge with energy or vitality as you age? What questions do you have about this clove technique? Your engagement helps me create content that truly serves your needs. Remember, you have more control over how you age than you've been told. The choice is yours. You can keep hoping for a miracle, or you can start building one with your own hands, one small, simple practice at a time. The journey to reclaiming your vitality starts with a single step, and that step can be as simple as chewing a clove. Your future self is waiting for you to begin. Thank you for watching, and here's to your health, your strength, and your continued vitality.